Good morning, Peter.
Good morning, Jack. How are you?
I'm great after a 4-2 Astros win in game one of the ALCS. How are
That's
you?
awesome, dude.
How are you?
Fine. Let's talk.
Just baseball show. Jack, Peter, Aram has already had like a day and a half of the Arizona Fall League. And here's the thing about the Arizona Fall League.
It's in Arizona, so it's 6 o'clock where he is in the morning.
Yeah, it's 6:24 a.m. He was willing to get up with us. He got up with us yesterday. But here's the other thing about the Arizona Fall League. If you played competitive baseball growing up and you played, let's say, like travel baseball, right? You played full-time travel baseball with a program. You probably found yourself at one of those weird tournaments where everybody was playing like 4 games a day, 3 games a day. And if you started a game on Friday, chances are you were coming out of the bullpen on Sunday. That's kind of what the Arizona Fall League is. Much expanded rosters, but it is like a glorified fall ball travel tournament where Aram can go and watch 3 games a day, 4 games a day, not of the same team, but everybody plays and they all play so close together. It's like a spring training for good prospects. So I don't blame him for being baseballed out, but I am ready to fucking run circles around you after that Astros win.
Yeah, no, it was a great Astros win. They crushed the Yankees. It was Justin Verlander versus Jameson Taillon. They won by 8 runs. It was an easy win. It's not like there was runners on first and second and Matt Carpenter came up with the chance to win and it was 1-1 tied for a while. The Astros blew them out of the water, right?
Mm-hmm. It was a murder.
Yeah, they crushed them. In a game that they were favored to win, they demolished them, right?
God, I just love how the tone changes. You send Arm and I a text last night in the 8th inning, and you say, any chance we can record tonight? And keep in mind, this is like 10:15. And I was just like, no. And you said, I want a sad vent. So here you are proposing that you sad vent. And then you get your 8 hours of sleep. You get up, you have your iced coffee. I'm having my iced coffee right now with, how about the JB glasses that my girlfriend made for us, which is just absolutely phenomenal. Peter's having his juice. So as soon as he supplies his body with essential nutrients to get through the morning, he is just all the way turned around on this Yankees team. Yes, it was 4-1. Okay.
4-2.
You're 4-2. Yes.
Rizzo bomb. Don't forget it.
Sorry. Yes, it was 4-2. Yes, this game was tied heading into the bottom of the 6th. And then it was Yuli Gurriel and it was Chas McCormick that hit back-to-back bombs. Jeremy Pena hit his second homer of the postseason, and Anthony Rizzo added a late run. So I'll give you that. It was tight for a while. But the Astros beat the Yankees using the Yankee method. How did the Yankees just get past Cleveland? They out-homered Cleveland. How often have we talked about that? The team that out-homers the other team in the postseason wins.
Yes.
The Astros are so fun because they are a boa constrictor. They can suffocate you with pitching, speed, and defense. But if they want to out-homer you, guess what? They fucking can. And Jordan doesn't even need to go yard. That's why I think this is the most dangerous team left.
I agree. They're really good. Obviously, if you're an Astros fan listening to this, congratulations. Your team is full of juggernauts. But what I will say is, if you told me at the beginning of the game that the Yankees were going to lose, I would have already assumed that it was going to happen. But the reason I was so sad was because I genuinely thought the Yankees had a very good shot of winning that game. They had multiple opportunities to win that game. Josh Donaldson, could you look any worse? With runners in scoring position, the Yankees had multiple opportunities to win that game. And if you're telling me, Jack, that it was that close where the Astros scored their runs off Jameson Taillon, Clark Schmidt, and Frankie Montas, and it was a 4-2 game with Verlander going 6, then Hector Neris, who's great, Rafael Montero, who the Yankees were able to get to, even though basically nobody has been able to get to him all year. And then Ryan Presley had to give you 1 1/3. Could he spin a curveball like nobody else? Yes. But did he have to throw a lot? Also, yes. And it was that close in a game where you have your number one starter against a less than rested Yankees team. And the Astros, which I said yesterday, would look a little, they would look a little rusty coming out of the gate. They did look rusty coming out of the gate against a guy like Jameson Taillon. Martin Maldonado supplied the only offense early on. It was the bottom of the lineup that killed the Yankees. Jose Altuve is still non-existent. Jeremy Pena has not only replaced Carlos Correa. It's just amazing what the Astros do. They let Carlos Correa walk, and then they have Jeremy Pena just come in and almost look better. I mean, what? He never misses a play at shortstop. As a rookie, in the brightest moments, he looks like a vacuum over there. And then he's supplying all the offense. He's got that double down the line. He had the home run. He just looked awesome. But it's not like Jordan did that much. No. The Yankees didn't pitch to him at all. So there's that. Yeah. But last night, I was sad because I saw so many opportunities for the Yankees to ambush the Astros early, and they didn't. But then I woke up this morning thinking to myself, it's Luis Severino versus Framber Valdez, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But they're going to win that game, and it's going to be 1-1. So I feel good. I feel okay. I needed the rest because I'm glad we didn't record last night. Mm-hmm. I would have said things that I didn't digest yet. Now I digested it, and I'm ready to roll, Jack. I'm feeling good.
Okay. What I will say is I think the Astros, we all picked the Astros to win the World Series. The Astros can win games when Altuve, Alvarez, Bregman, and Tucker combine to go 0 for 12. That's nice incredible.
When you have Verlander. It's nice when you have Verlander in that bullpen.
Yeah, but really good. That aside, man, I mean, you could have Cy Young starting games for you. The thing that gets me is the depth that nobody thinks is there. And Martin Maldonado is a bad example because Maldonado is just an objectively not good hitter. So I'll give that run to just happenstance. But a guy like Chas McCormick can leave the yard. A guy like Yuli Gurriel, Yuli is still leading the Astros in hits in the postseason.
Won the batting title last year.
Yeah, he won the batting title last year, and then you got a rookie Jeremy Pena with a 3-hit day. He was the player of the game yesterday.
I mean, not a real batting title because he didn't hit like 340, like we talked about.
Yeah, he led the American League.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, he was like 319 or something.
Yeah, not a bad title.
No, but man, Altuve 0 for 3, Alvarez 0 for 2 with a couple of walks, Bregman 0 for 3 with a walk. Kyle Tucker 0 for 4, and they still win that ball game. If you told me that those four going into the postseason were combined to go 0 for 12 or whatever they did in that 18-inning game against Seattle, and they still win these games, I'll tell you that, I mean, this is just a juggernaut that you cannot stop because even on a bad day, even on an off day for the top of that lineup, if they're still getting wins, imagine what they do when that lineup is clicking. And I have no idea if Altuve is ever going to click in this postseason. It might just be a lost postseason for him. But you know what? It's only a matter of time until Jordan goes ballistic in the ALCS. It's only a matter of time before Kyle Tucker golfs one in this ALCS. And it's only a matter of time before Alex Bregman has that late homer that he parks into the Crawford boxes. Whether it be game 2, whether it be game 6, whether it be game 7, whether it be in the World Series, Bregman's going to do something. You and I both know that for damn sure. Alvarez is going to do everything. Kyle Tucker's going to do something. And if Altuve stinks, there's enough protection there.
Do you want to mention the Yankees? What about when Aaron Judge does something? What about when Gleyber Torres something? How about the Anthony Rizzo home run? How about the fact that Harrison Bader leads the postseason in home runs? Can we talk about both teams for a second? Or the Astros just going to sweep them in 4?
Yes. So after Aaron Judge, what was the next name you said?
Anthony Rizzo?
No, you said Gleyber Torres.
Yeah.
Gleyber Torres.
He's had a great postseason.
And Kyle Tucker are not the same.
Not very good postseason, but solid. No, not really. 330
OPS. He's having a good postseason.
But it feels better than the numbers say it is.
It feels better than 130?
It feels better than a 330 OPS.
130 and feels better than a 330 OPS are two totally different things, man.
I'm a feel guy. I thought you were a feel guy.
I reached down and grabbed my plums. Shout out
to those games. You're not a numbers guy. You're a feel guy. I'm telling you, it feels better than a 330 OPS.
If you're a feel guy, the only number that you do look at is batting average, right? And 130 is 130.
It feels better than 130.
So that's when you put the lowercase x in front of it.
Okay, well, it's better than 0 for Altuve.
Yes, it is better than 0-0.
It's just we're assuming Altuve is just going to get really good because he was one of the best hitters in the American League. But I think that we can assume that Glaber will have better at bats moving forward if we're just doing that. If we're just assuming
you
here,
can assume that, man.
I don't know why not.
I don't think you can.
Can we assume that Aaron Judge is going to start to go nuclear?
We can assume that Aaron Judge is going to provide a spark. But again, Aaron Judge is hitting 167 in the postseason. He had a couple of timely homers against Cleveland, but aside from that, he was kind of strikeout city in that ALDS, was he not?
Yes.
So Giancarlo Stanton is one of the better postseason performers of recent memory.
Yeah, he is.
Giancarlo will continue to be an anchor for the New York Yankees. Aaron Judge will provide the sporadic bomb. I think we know that. Aside from that, Donaldson looked fucking lost. Gleyber Torres.
Send him to the moon.
Yes. Donaldson looks terrible. Not only
guessing. He's guessing, Jack. He's just sitting at the plate, thinking to himself, okay, I'm sitting on curveball. Fastball. It's all right. All right. I'm going to sit on fastball now. Curveball. Damn it. All right. 0-2. What do I? It's by me already. Strike 3. It's 3 pitches. He has no plan, no clue at the plate. It's abysmal.
The Aaron Hicks injury hurts more than you think it would. And I mean, Giancarlo played left field yesterday.
And he made a good play. Made a great play. Running back there on that line drive.
Feel good about Giancarlo Stanton playing left field for 7 games.
Better than Aaron Hicks. Have you seen Aaron Hicks make one good play? Giancarlo Stanton, first time in months playing out there, makes a good play. I haven't seen Aaron Hicks good play in months.
First time in months playing in left field is the ALCS.
How do you do? You watched the game. How do you do?
He did fine, but he was not tested very much.
He got
Matt Carpenter
caught the ball.
Matt Carpenter was the DH. He went 0 for 4 with 4 punch-outs. I watched what he said post-game. He said, yeah, obviously didn't play well, but I guess taking a positive away from this, I saw a lot of pitches. He did not see a lot of pitches at the end of the season. And I saw John Boy tweet, if they just activated him for the 4 games against Texas, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Hindsight's 2020. Okay. Like if they activated him or not, I don't know if it's a different story here. I just saw a totally outmatched Matt Carpenter yesterday.
As did I. It looked like all the magic was sucked out of the bottle.
Carpenter 0 for 4 with 4 punch-outs. Donaldson 0 for 3 with a walk and 3 punch-outs. And then 7, 8, and 9 all had multiple Ks. Harrison Bader did hit that home run. Shout out Bader. But 2 punch-outs for Bader, 2 punch-outs for Trevino, and 2 punch-outs for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Boone said he liked the overwhelmingly right-handed lineup against Justin Verlander in Game 1. I assume IKF gets the nod again today with Framber on the mound as a lefty. But when do you make the move back to Oswaldo Cabrera?
When do you make the move to Oswald Peraza, who should be playing shortstop, and then you could put Oswaldo Cabrera in left, DH Stanton, Peraza at short.
So then IKF and Carpenter out of the lineup.
Bench Donaldson.
Who's going to play third?
IKF.
You'd rather have IKF at third than Josh Donaldson?
Yes. Josh Donaldson, while being a good defender, scares me. He always double clutches, and it's like that. IKF, you move him over to third. He's much better defender at third than he is at shortstop. And IKF is at least putting the bat on the ball. I mean, IKF is hitting 267 with a 620 OPS. Is that good? Not particularly, but it's better than Josh Donaldson is. And Josh Donaldson sits right in the middle of the lineup and just kills momentum like he did in the other game. I would bench him. I would. You want my lineup? I got IKF at third, Peraza at short, Oswaldo Cabrera in left, you DH Stanton. It's a better defensive team, more opportunity to put the ball in play. You have more speed. You're more dynamic. You already got the big boppers. You got Rizzo. You got Judge. You got Stanton. You don't need a guy like Donaldson just killing momentum. I don't even like him. I don't like him.
Nobody fucking likes him.
I don't like him.
Nobody does.
All right.
Trevino's 067 in the postseason.
Not ideal.
Higgy or Trevino?
Trevino. Definitely. Higgy is a worse hitter than he is, and Trevino is the best pitch framer in baseball.
How do you feel after your blood pressure was presumably sky high watching Jamison Taillon? 4 1/3, 4 hits, 3 walks, no strikeouts, and 1 run to show for the Astros.
All right, the box score. I even looked at the box score after the game. I was like, that box score looks like it sucks, but he pitched better than that.
Man, 1 run is 1 run.
1 run is 1 run. Look at the ERA. What was the ERA from that start? We had a 6.23. How is it a 6.23?
No, but
that's
he
his,
had
that's
factoring in the
AL. Yeah. No, I thought he pitched pretty well. I thought he pitched better than I think a lot of people thought Jamison Taillon would pitch in game 1 against the Astros. Thought he performed pretty well. He kept the Yankees in the game. That's all you can ask, right? It's Jamison Taillon versus Justin Verlander, and they were locked at 1 through his outing. Solid. You kept them in the game against a guy like Verlander, and Verlander looked a little shaky to start, and then he dominated the Yankees, made them his father like he always does. That's why I had the Yankees series price. I was like, there's a solid chance that they lose in game 1, but I think they're going to win in game 2. You're going to hear on Not Gambling Advice. Spoiler alert. One of my plays is going to be on the New York side. They're going to win this game in game 2. And we'll see you in New York for game 3.
So I will say Taillon made this a game for a lot longer than I was expecting him to. So kudos to Taillon. But we talked about the decimated bullpen after no off day on the travel day, and Loaisiga going 2, Holmes going 1. The guys they ran out after him, Clark Schmidt in a tie game, that hurt.
Yeah.
Trevino, Montas, and Castro. Yeah, Clark Schmidt, PSA 10 or 9.5.
I looked on eBay. I think it's worth $4. It's a 9 out of 10.
Oh, it's a 9 out of 10? Broke.
Yeah, I'm just going to use this as a coaster now.
But we knew that they were not going to run out a top flight bullpen. We knew they were not going to run out their A team out of the pen because Wandy Peralta threw pretty much every day in that ALDS. Probably weren't going to use him. Definitely weren't going to use Loaisiga. Definitely weren't going to use Holmes. And you know what? This game never got out of hand. Credit to the Yankees for it never getting out of hand. But they were behind after Clark Schmidt. So what do? They go to a starter that was having shoulder issues at the end of the year. And yeah, he allows a homer, but c'est la vie, man. I think Boone did an actually pretty good job managing this pitching staff in game 1.
Did a great job. Didn't use any of the high leverage relievers while the Astros used their 3 best guys. Used Clark Schmidt. He couldn't keep the lead. He got that huge double play. But then he got run up on by a couple of home runs. Happens. I just think at this point, Clark Schmidt is that middle reliever when you're losing. I can't put him in high leverage situations anymore. He's just not ready. He was bred as a starter, and you're using him as like this middle reliever in tough spots for him. I just don't think, especially against offenses like Houston, that's the goal. Lou Trevino was awesome, though. I mean, hasn't allowed a run in the postseason. It was good to see him out there, get those 2 outs, get that strikeout. But then Frankie Montas. I mean, are you kidding me? Nice deadline acquisition, Yankees. I mean, I wanted him. I wanted him a lot. I think he could be even good next year. But currently, as we're sitting right here on, what's today's date? October 20th, Frankie Montas is a liability in the bullpen. What is that? I mean, he looked terrible. Even his stuff, even when he got outs, just looks bad.
Yeah, and shoulders are not good for that.
They're not very good for that.
No, shoulders diminish stuff. Shoulder issues diminish stuff.
Yeah.
So I just want to go back to one thing real quick. You said that Houston used their best 3 guys in Neris, Montero, and Presley. Still well rested is Ryan Stanek, Brian Abreu, Hunter Brown, Luis Garcia, Jose Urquidy.
I didn't say they don't have other elite arms. I just said they used 3 of their best.
No, you said you used their 3 best.
Ryan Stanek is probably better than Neris.
Ryan Stanek is so fucking good, dude.
He doesn't allow runs. And Hunter Brown looks like a mini Verlander. Yeah, they still got guys. It's not like oh, the Astros they're done after that 3-day rest period, and then they threw 3 of their better bullpen arms. Like Presley could go again today if you wanted to. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying they had to go Verlander, then 3 of their better arms to win a 4-2 game at home against Jamison Taillon. That is in it of itself a win for the Yankees. The series is not over. It is not over.
It's not. Game 2 tonight, 7:37, Framber Valdez, Luis Severino. I will stand by my thought that the Yankees will not be able to lift the baseball against Framber Valdez. I think that Valdez, he had a fine start against Seattle. It was certainly not to the standard that he holds himself to. I think that this is a great opportunity for Framber to bounce back. We know how good he is pitching in the postseason and pitching in high-intensity moments. And I think Framber does bounce back. He does not throw very many pitches above the belt. It's all going to be about thigh high, knee high. And I think that the Yankees are really going to struggle to do what they do best, which is lift the ball and put it out of the ballpark. I do like the Astros to, it's probably not going to get out of hand at any point. I do like the Astros to take a very small lead early and hold on to it. Yesterday was 4-2. I could absolutely see this game as like 2-1, 3-1 Houston.
So Framber pitched it against the Yankees back on June 23rd. And in the first inning of that game, Giancarlo Stanton hit a 3-run home run. But then he really settled down. He gave up 2 hits in that entire game. He threw 6 innings, 2 hits, 3 runs. Yeah, but Stanton was able to hit that home run. So that's the X factor, right?
You say that name, and you say that date, right? Late June. I say, oh, that was definitely in the mix of his MLB record, 23 straight quality starts, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Yankees actually won that game. It was 7-6. The Astros went up 6-3 in the 3rd inning, and then Hicks hit a 3-run home run to tie it. Then Judge hit a single to walk it off. That was at Yankee Stadium. So and Severino also has very good numbers against the Astros. 12 innings, 5 earned runs this year, and over a larger sample, the quality of contact has been better for the Yankees against Framber than it has been for the Astros against Severino. 2 pretty good starts. So Framber's ERA against the Yankees this year is 4.50. Framber Valdez, also weirdly, home road splits guy. 3.54 ERA at home, like a 2.2 ERA on the road. Seattle hit him a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if the Yankees get to Framber a little bit. Will the Yankees? It'll have to be by the home run. So that's the X factor. Will they be able to lift on Framber Valdez? But we're not seeing a Framber Valdez that is coming into this game just otherworldly dominant. He can be hit. He can be hit. That's why if I'm the Yankees, I'm putting some speed in the lineup. Give me some guys that maybe if they put the ball on the ground can beat out some infield hits. Then rely on the Judge, Stanton, and Rizzo to hit the ball out of the ballpark, which they have proved they've done before. Stanton has that home run. Judge can hit any lefty on earth. Yeah. The Yankees are one of the best offenses in baseball this season against lefties. The Astros are even better against lefties. 727 OPS this season for the Astros against righties versus 783 against lefties. This is the better split for the Yankees.
They're not going to see a lefty until game 4.
Yeah, with Nestor. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. Like the Astros still struggled off Jamison Taillon, and Severino is better. The Yankees have been crushing lefties all year. They've proved they can hit Valdez. And Valdez is looking a little shaky right now. He's not looking perfect. Will it be a close game? Yes. I still think Framber will pitch well. I think we could see something similar, right? He gave up 2 hits in that game. One of them was a home run. That's all you need. One mistake. I think the Yankees can pounce on him, and I think they'll do enough to win this game. Because then also following Severino, they now have their rested guys. You can go Loaiza, you can go Holmes, you can go Wandy, you can go Trevino again. And then you have Severino, who has performed very well against the Astros and has that chip on his shoulder. He's going to come in throwing cheese. It's a tough game for the Astros.
Score? I said 2-1 Houston.
I think 4-2 Yankees.
Wow. Reverse of last night.
Yeah. But also, what if I told you the Yankees are plus 135 also?
Yeah, that doesn't register in my brain.
Well, it registers in mine.
I know. So you're
There
going
we
to
go.
think about it, and you're probably going to do it. How many units?
50.
What if it becomes caked?
Then we're fucked. No, I mean, no, everything's a unit. We never go crazy. Baseball, anything could happen, but this is my prediction. We'll see. We'll see. You'll be hearing my exact pick on Not Gambling Advice.
Hey, we're going to need a megalodon some point soon.
No,
we're going to need a
that is
megalodon.
irresponsible.
No, come on. Like World Series
come
megalodon.
on. No, a megalodon means I got to put like a lot of money on something, and I don't want to put a lot of money on something because the playoffs is so hard to handicap.
So if the megalodon is caked, I'm learning my gambling.
Look at you.
If the megalodon is caked, does that mean that I can walk into the local Starbucks in the West Village and I can see you working there?
Well, it depends what time you come in. I'll have to do the night shift.
You'll have to do the night shift because you got to get your gambling picks out in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
I understand. Yeah. See, if I were you, I would pick weird hours because your reasoning for being a barista would be that you lost a bet.
Yeah, 12 to midnight to 5 a.m. Just wiping the floors because the Yankees didn't cover.
The megalodon got caked.
Yeah, the megalodon.
Imagine saying that in a job interview. All right, NLCS Game 2. San Diego, damn, man, 8-5 the win over Philly. Philly jumped out on the weirdest top of the second inning you could possibly imagine. I mean, it was just a rinky-dink assortion of batted balls against Blake Snell. They were up 4-0, and then San Diego puts back-to-back bombs on the board from Drury and Josh Bell. And then a 5 spot in the bottom of the 5th. They add one more in the bottom of the 7th. Philly gets one back in the top of the 8th, but all in all, 8-5. They even the series 1-1. Nola looked very, very human and looked bad at the end of it all.
Wheeler is better. No, Nola is so good, and he's still one of the best pitchers in the postseason. It was a tougher outing there for Aaron Nola, but that happens. I mean, you can't be perfect, and some of those earned runs came from Brad Hand, who just blew it through one of the worst sliders I've ever seen to Brandon Drury for that hit. I mean, Brad Hand just couldn't have looked worse, and that's the problem with the Phillies, is that if Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler and Ranger Suarez don't give you 6 or 7 to hand it off to some of the better arms, like Sir Anthony Dominguez, who's dominant, Jose Alvarado, who's dominant.
That's the thing. It's those two. It's Sir Anthony Dominguez and Jose Alvarado, right? So when you can line up and go Wheeler for 7, Dominguez for 1, Alvarado for 1, if you can go Nola for 7, Dominguez for 1, Alvarado for 1, it's who's beating the Phillies? But when Aaron Nola gets bounced before he gets through 5 complete innings, he goes 4 2/3. Then you hand it off to Brad Hand, who doesn't get an out. Andrew Bellotti, who finally gets the out to end the 5th inning. Then you got Connor Brogdon, David Robertson, who I do want to give some credit to. Robertson, tried and true reliever. But then you go to Kyle Gibson to finish off the game, granted in a loss. Like, that bullpen is so top heavy, it's ridiculous. And we know that the Phillies bullpen for the last decade and a half has been the problem ever since they won the last World Series with Doc, with Cliff Lee, with Oswalt, Hamels. It's always been the Phillies bullpen. It's always been they implode. I hear so much slander about the Philadelphia Phillies bullpen. They've got 2 guys that they can really trust right now. I like the way Connor Brogdon throws. I like David Robertson. I don't have much faith in those guys. I don't have much faith if the starting pitching goes fewer than 6 innings. I don't.
I agree. That's the only issue here with the Phillies. They aren't perfect. The only perfect team left really is the Astros. But the Padres aren't perfect either. But Blake Snell, you got to give him a ton of credit. That was posted on Twitter, which I had a good laugh at. He's like, I don't know how Blake Snell hasn't imploded yet from anger from that inning. But then he came back and shut the door. I mean, that was vintage Snell in the playoffs, who came into that game with a 2.89 postseason ERA in 43 innings. Blake Snell knows how to pitch in the postseason. He knows how to weather the storm, allowed the Padres to get back into the game. Those back-to-back home runs by Drury and Bell really turned the stadium back on, turned the lights back on at Petco. And then they were able to just dominate from then on. And it's funny, the Padres are such a momentum built offense. I mean, I think in their games so far, I heard it on the broadcast, most of their runs have come in 3 innings. They just string together hits, and then it's impossible to get them out. We saw that firsthand in the 5th. From those 2 home runs, they put up 7 straight runs, and then the game was basically over. The Padres are a momentum-built offense, which can hurt them and help them. It's a tough line to walk on, right? Because if the momentum isn't built, they just get shut down. We saw it against Zach Wheeler. But if they can nosy a couple hits here and there, then the floodgates open, and then it's impossible to stop them. That's going to be a problem if they can't build on that momentum. Like if they can't string together hits consistently in different innings against different guys.
The way John Smoltz put it at the end of the game, I thought was great. He said this was like a win-win situation for both teams. The Phillies wanted to get one in San Diego and flip it around with home field. They did. San Diego needed game 2. They got game 2.
That's why I bet on Padres money line yesterday. I was like, they will go all out. They cannot lose this game, or they're done. Like that was as much of an elimination game as possible. Because you go down 2-0 going into Philly with that crowd just yelling at you. Phillies fans, of course, saying all nice things. Nothing bad from Phillies fans.
No, never.
All due respect to Phillies fans. Once you get at Citizens Bank, you get a couple beers flowing. I mean, everything that comes out of your mouth isn't going to be flowers. I think that's fair. Phillies fans.
Naturally.
That was almost a death sentence for the Padres. But they got one, and now we go into Musgrove Ranger Suarez. Padres could take a 2-1 lead. I'm not exactly sure. They're slight favorites currently at open, but that game doesn't happen until Friday.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. How about Josh Hader in the postseason at this point? I mean, we talk about the trials and tribulations of Josh Hader post-deadline, and here we are, 5 1/3 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 10 punch-outs.
He's back to being in the Edwin Diaz, Emmanuel Clase class.
So I guess
otherworldly dominant.
Like the follow-up question is why? And is it because he's getting adequate rest? Which sucks. You can't rely on adequate rest in the postseason.
I know. You're right. But I don't know if it's adequate rest. I think it might have just been a command thing. I mean, I remember watching Josh Hader when he was getting crushed. Everything was middle. It's like how many times have we said this, Jack? It's just the command. It's like when you leave things middle, they're MLB hitters. They're going to hit you. Now he's locating at the top of the zone and he's back-footing the slider and he's impossible to touch because he's tunneling it. It's up and out to righties and he throws that slider right there, or he throws the fastball. One's going 100 with rise in it. And then the slider is back-footing you. You're done. You have no chance. And then no lefty's ever going to touch him. And then the righties can't touch him. He looks as unhittable as ever, and that is so huge. But for the first time, Robert Suarez looked human. We haven't seen that in the playoffs because he's also been otherworldly dominant. I mean, that back end now of Luis Garcia, Suarez, and Hader, when they're all thrown at their best, that is tough to crack. Really tough to crack.
That Nick Martinez changeup is also freakazoid shit.
Give him a 10-year deal.
Nick Martinez?
Give him a 10-year. I'm a Nick Martinez guy.
You'd be paying him through his age 42 season, by the way.
So what? Make it 12. Round up.
Yeah.
Brady's still playing?
Why can't Nick Martinez be just spewing changeups? It's like the new Oliver Perez, right?
Even better.
Even better. Yeah, man. I mean, I do like what this Padres bullpen is doing right now. Yeah, what kind of momentum can they gather in Philly? That's my big question.
Yeah, Game 3 is going to be incredibly important. The Padres need to go in saying, first, we need to take at least one, obviously, or else they're going home. But I think Game 3 is incredibly important to build that momentum going forward in those next 2 games.
Because it's not Wheeler or Nola.
Yeah, exactly. Like you have to win that game.
If Ranger Suarez gets the win Game 3, I'll say Phillies in 5. I think this thing is over.
It might be over. But the Padres at least go in. Like confidence is a big thing. When you're facing Aaron Nola and there's that aura of he can't get hit, but you just hit him, you have a lot of confidence moving into that game. Wheeler, they're getting crushed by Wheeler. That's why, like, Wheeler is so good. Wheeler is incredible. You know who's also really good? That Bryce Harper guy. He's pretty
phenomenal.
decent. He's one of the best hitters in the entire sport. He is just his at bats, even when they don't even result in hits.
He's locked in.
Locked in. And when Bryce Harper is locked in, it's almost impossible to get him out. Because he's not he's not just going for the home run. He's just trying to put the ball in play, and he has so much power and so much bat speed that he can do anything he wants with it. He's incredible. He's an incredible, incredible player. One of the best hitters in the sport.
I told you we were going to get a legacy cementing postseason from Bryce Harper, and I told you
look at us,
that, and we're getting it.
And look at this. Legacy cementing. He's the best in the playoffs.
He's leading the postseason in OPS right now.
Like, the Phillies have the best pitcher and the best hitter in the postseason currently, I think.
Now, we'll see what Musgrove does in start number 3. Wheeler is still better than Musgrove at this point, but Joey's been so good. And honestly, what gives me confidence in San Diego getting this win over Ranger Suarez and the Phillies on Friday, and obviously we're going to get much deeper into this game tomorrow, but the way Musgrove threw in New York in the wild card series, I think is very telling because I know no sellout in Queens, and I know that Philly is a different beast, but if you can pitch on the road in cooler weather like that, I think he's ready to roll.
I agree. I think he's ready to roll too. It's going to be a great game. Padres against slight favorites. I'm not sure exactly where I'll be at on that game, but we'll talk about that tomorrow.
October 15% off your Just Baseball merch, hoodies, hats, shirts, performance long sleeves. Holy smokes, performance long sleeves.
Why wouldn't you? What are you waiting for?
We got our Manscaped deal in the episode description as well. 20% off your Manscaped order using promo code JBShow. We both got sent the performance kit, which was utterly awesome.
Awesome.
What else?
If you could rate us 5 stars, if you're enjoying this on YouTube, why not subscribe? Why not us, right? Give us a like. Let us know in the comments who you think is going to win today's game between the Yankees and the Astros. If you're saying the Astros, sorry, idiot, you're wrong. No, you're probably
the
right.
Astros.
I'm not sure. Yeah. You side with Jack, huh? No, we'll see. Luis Severino versus Framber Valdez. We'll see how my mood is in a couple by tonight. We also got Thursday night football on between the Saints Cardinals. I will be placing a wager on it. You'll hear that on Not Gambling Advice, but I will not be watching it. My eyes will be glued on Yankees Astros.
Yeah.
And with that, thank you, everybody.